Hello, everyone. My name is Mirjam, and welcome to my new astrology show. It feels great to be a part of this community and to be able to share my passion, probably just my biggest passion in my life, with all of you. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see how this will develop. I hope you're going to have as much fun as I will, for sure. And on this show, I will be talking about all things astrology, about zodiac, planets, the elements, and what chart interpretation is all about. And I also have a look at some of your questions and individual charts and see if I can give you some guidance with that. Before we start, before we jump in, I would like to tell you a little bit about myself and about my own spiritual journey, so you can see where I'm coming from, and for you to understand how I work with this ancient tool and what my approach is, because there are many. Some of you may know that there are many different directions. There's different schools of astrology, different approaches, and how people work with that. So just want to make sure that people understand my style and my approach to that. I would like this show to be as interactive as possible. So I would encourage all of you to put your questions and your comments in the chat box. Also, if you have a question for me that you would like some guidance with, if this is a personal situation in your life where you are currently struggling with, or where you just want some light being shed on the background of that, I hope I can help you with that. Please put that question in the box along with your personal birth details. That includes the birth time, if you can get that as accurate as possible. And let's see if I can pick up this question later and help you with that. Okay, so yeah, the internet. I have to say, sorry about the very slow internet. Normally, that is not the case. I've got, such a delayed visual. I do apologize for that. I hope you can all hear me okay. I hope this is going to be. I hope we go and see some improvement there. Just right now, it's really bad. Like past couple of days, it's just been really slow. So I apologize for that. I hope it's not gonna have a bad impact on how we can proceed. Right. Yeah. Yeah, please be aware. Just be aware that if you put your personal birth details in the box, that it is private information and other people will be able to read it because it's they have public access to it. So if you're not comfortable with that, you can also contact me privately, or if you have a more general question where I don't have to look at your personal chart data, you're also very welcome to put that in the box. So whatever your questions or comments are, please just type away. And just to make sure that you're aware that you're putting your personal information in there. Okay. All right. So so it's see if we can say hello to some people, see who is joining us today. Who's joining us today? Okay, there's Jen. Hi, Jen. Best to you. How are you? Then we've got Terry. Terry, I already know Terry. Good afternoon, Terry. Hello. Hi. Lovely to see you here. Who else is on? Tony Lyons. Hello, Tony. Big shout out to you. I'm glad you're here. Thanks. And there's Millie. Yeah, I saw Millie last night in the comment section. Hi, Millie. Hello. Hello, Beverly. I love astrology and numbers. Yes, me too. Me too, Beverly. That's good to know. Hello, Joanne. Hello to you. Hello, Amanda. Welcome. And Sue. Wow, Sue's joining us from Melbourne, Australia. Wow, that's far away. Lovely to see you here, Sue. Okay, Dana. Hello, Dana. And hello, Gina. Hi. Sally Ann, hello. Thanks for coming on. Sue, good to see you. Hello. Hello, Ellison. Christy, hello to you as well. Hello, Julia. I'm glad you joined. Who else is there? There's Veronica. See Veronica. Hello. Hello. Hope you enjoy. Tina Gray. Hello, Tina. Tina and Petra. Oh, this is a lovely colleague of mine in Berlin. Amazing. See you here, Petra. Hello. Mwah. Got Simon. Okay, hello, Simon. Maybe a Simon I know. Simon I don't know. Still see Peter. Taryn. Okay. Hello. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Who else is here? Hello, Maria. Hello. Good to see you, Ron. Hallie J. Hallie J. I just saw Yvonne Jackson. I know her. Hello to Yvonne. Fantastic to see you. Hello, Keith. Good day to you, Keith. Kimbo. Yes, of course. Hello. Donna Bruce. Hello, good to see you, Donna. Dawn. Hi, Dawn. Hello, Deb. Called up now, so people probably gonna join, as we proceed. Yeah, it's lovely to see you all. Mm. Yeah, okay. Okay, I see also people already sending in. Well, but first of all, I would like to just tell people just a little bit about my journey so they can just actually understand who I am and how I work and what my approach is. And then I'm happy to do some readings. So if you want to sift through the comments and pick out some people's questions, whilst I explain a little bit about myself and how I work with astrology. Yeah, so my own spiritual journey, like many spiritual people, it was not an easy one. And I discovered astrology at the age of 16. And until then, I had been a really, probably one of the biggest skeptics of astrology. I really didn't believe that was anything interesting to it, but that was because I didn't really understand what it was about. I just knew the sugar cubes and the star sign columns in the magazine. But then and also my background, like I grew up, my parents and my whole like family background surroundings, there was just zero spirituality. So my parents, they were not interested in that at all. They were not into that at all. But so I just had to make my own experience. I had to find my own approach. I didn't have to search for it. It just came to me, it just found me. And I think that's the case for many people. Like, you have this feeling like when you're ready, it just comes to you. You just discover what you're supposed to discover, right, in order to get on your own track, to find your own path in life. And when I was about 16, I had a couple experiences pertaining to my love life in particular. And these experiences, they really put me, they just triggered some questions, some deeper questions. I mean, I've probably always been interested in psychology, but this went so much further. I had questions like, why, how could this happen? How could I feel this way? Or how can this person make me feel this way? And somehow I stumbled upon some astrology books, like really, really general ones, like we call them cookbooks, astrology cookbooks. So it's just really general, like, it's just star sign stuff, basically. Oh yeah, you're a Sagittarius, or you're an Aquarius, or a Cancer, or an Aries, whatever. And but that's how I started, and I realized, I very quickly realized that there was so much more. There was so much more to discover. There was so much more to it than just the star sign columns in the magazines and the sugar cubes, where it just says, oh yeah, you are an Aquarius, so you are freedom loving and so, just these really, like, just, open the drawer, put you in, close the drawer, so that's your drawer. So when I understood that there was so much more to it, I became fascinated, and I just really wanted to study it more, and I did study, and I even managed to turn my hobby into my passion, into my profession, and it's been my main profession for 12 years now. So my approach is a psychological one. So I'm a psychological astrologer. I got my certificate in 2010 in February, so 12 years ago. That's one Jupiter cycle ago. So that's quite a significant amount of time that's passed since then. And my approach is, so how I see the chart is, I see the chart as a blueprint. The chart is as a blueprint. It contains all the potentials, like your starting material for this incarnation that your soul has deliberately picked, because it's now time to tackle these tasks and these challenges. So everything in the chart reflects like an inner personality. It's not about the fatalistic approach that they, used to go for in the Middle Ages, where you look at a constellation, you say, oh, that is bad. No, there's no planet that is just bad in itself or carries a bad message or any bad energy. So no matter what constellation you're looking at, and be that a constellation between two planets who really don't align well, and it's a really challenging aspect, or any constellation in the chart, there's always the potential to grow, to develop, and to transform. Yeah, so the individual always has the choice to work on the potential and to develop it. There is no constellation, no planet that is just bad in itself, that you have bad fate or something, that something is just there and you can't escape it. People back in the day where they used to say, this is going to happen to you, and that's just your fate. You just have to accept it. There's no escape from that. So that is not what I do. So this is just about like uncovering potentials and uncovering patterns and understanding your inner structures, like how you are wired inside of you. And so that's my fascinating journey, and I'll be doing this until my last breath. I'm pretty sure. Hello, Martine. Yes, love astrology too. It's super interesting, and it just I just decided to pursue it probably because it gave me so many answers, and it gave me so much help and guidance for my own life. And I decided I want to help other people. I want to try and guide other people and make them aware of their own path, because that is, for me, psychological astrology. I think the main thing for me is the self-discovery. I think that's the main motivation. Just get to know yourself as best as you can, because then you can become the master of your destiny and you can make your own choices. I think that's an incredibly empowering thought. And this is also how I, try to guide and motivate my clients to just give them that sense of empowerment. So if they know themselves, if they know what they are supposed to do because it's in their own nature, and then it's just natural, and they get into their flow, and they get on their own path, and they can work on having their best experience in life. Astrology is an incredibly useful tool. You can use it in many different ways, not just for chart interpretation in terms of natal charts, or maybe also relationship charts. I specialize in relationships, apart from career and life path, particularly relationships. I find absolutely fascinating if you look at two people's charts, or maybe it's more than two people, and you look at what connects them, and how the interaction is like, how they influence each other. And then if you use relationship chart like techniques in relationship astrology, you can see what has brought them together, what is really the driving force and the purpose behind this relationship. What are they supposed to learn together? And what is their journey all about? So I just find that really fascinating. But you can also use astrology, for example, to predict the weather. Yeah, so you can do weather forecasts, you can predict stock market prices. I've got some colleagues who are really amazing finance astrologers. They enter that, they can tell you all about the planetary cycles of hundreds of years ago, and how that made an impact about, the price of corn and gold, or whatever it is about. And you can use astrology to analyze events. That could be a tsunami, or that could be any event really. That could be a wedding. That could be the founding of a new business, the start of a new business. So in astrology, we look at the moment that is interesting in astrological terms, is the moment when something happens for the first time. So that's the first time. So that's the start. That's the beginning of something, because that carries in it all the seed and all the potential that can grow from that over time. So this is all contained in this one moment where it all starts. So for example, if you look at the chart of a first encounter of two people, is one of the most mesmerizing things. So I can't get enough of that. Analyzing charts of first encounters of two people, you will see all the potential in there. You will see why these people have met, what their hidden motivations are, what their current status is, and how what can become of this new thing that starts in this moment. Yeah, so I think this is really yeah, and this is just only one, as I said, this is just one of the many ways you can use astrology. As I said, I've got some colleagues who are also amazing mundane astrologers, and they look at the charts like of a nation, chart of a country. So every country has its own chart as well, the founding of a country, and that has its own characteristics. Right. I just want to make sure that you understand that I look at the celestial bodies. Everything I see in the chart, I see as reflection of your inner personalities, and not something that is like fated and you can't do anything about it. You just have to accept it, and you can't change it. So it's everything is dynamic. So from the moment you were born, everything develops from there. So I see a message here from Phil Shaw. Oh yeah, Liz Green. Oh yeah, wonderful. So very much part of my spiritual involvement. Interesting to hear your approach to the subject. Yeah, so I come from the spiritual side as well. Yeah, Phil, I've seen a talk, one of Liz's talk live a couple of years ago. It was amazing. I didn't know. Abla says, I didn't know that. No wonder people ask us, what is the lottery numbers? Yeah, of course you can. Some people actually ask about the lottery numbers. I mean, that's then specific techniques. Technically, I think there's probably very little things that you can't do with astrology, that you can't use it for. You can try to predict probably anything. Yeah, so probably a couple of things I have not even thought about. Yeah, but some people also they like to predict. Back in the day, people used it to just predict just very mundane things as well. Like for example, for example, the farmers, like they wanted to know when is the best time to get the harvest in, or the king, and the kings had their own astrologers in their courts, and they probably wanted to know what is the best time to invade another country, take over another country, or like the best time for a coronation, or the best time to arrange a wedding with another a kingdom, something like that, So very different things probably that we look at, we're looking at today. Obviously, classical astrology is a whole chapter for itself. And I do use some methods of it, but I don't use like the fatalistic approach that, something is like this planet is always bad, like, the bad Saturn and the bad Mars, they are the classical malefics, and we have got the beneficial planets, the lucky planets, Venus and Jupiter. Of course, there is some characteristics about these planetary energies that maybe are a bit difficult to handle sometimes, but they are never bad in itself. Well, thank you so much, Millie. Yes, there is a lot to astrology, I can assure you. Yeah, and it's going to be loads more. If you stay tuned onto the show, you're going to be learning loads more. I'm going to tell you all about it. Yeah, right. If nobody has a question, they've got loads. Oh, yeah. So on the 5th is it? Yes, yeah. The 5th of March in Bournemouth, there is a spiritual event over the weekend. I'll be there on the 5th of March, and I will be doing a little talk about astrology. So that's an opportunity to see me live, and I will also be doing some readings there, some private readings. Yes. So I look forward to that. Okay. So if you got people sending in some questions, then we can also start taking some questions, look at some people's charts. You see, what with twins? Okay, that's a question. And what with twins? Are they different even with identical twins? They're born on the same day. Yes. Okay. So with twins, we get these questions a lot as astrologers. So you see, even with twins, they will still have individual charts because there will always be a small amount of time, even if it's few minutes between the charts. And in some cases, even a few minutes, they can mean a different rising sign. Yeah, that depends. And even if it's the same, you will still see, for example, if you combine the charts, you will still see that there is individual that they will express their potentials in different ways. But what we often see with twins is, you probably many of you have heard these or read these stories about twins, and they maybe they lived like completely like separate life, different lives apart, maybe on different continents even, or in different countries, but they still got married on the exact same day, and their spouse had the exact same name. I have read several of these stories, and I found that incredible. So there is always something that is connects them, but they still have individual charts. So they will, because there is such a range of how a constellation can be expressed. They will both find their individual expression. They will never express the same constellation in exactly the same way. Yeah. But they will have very, very similar potentials. Yes, obviously. Yeah. So that's a very interesting thing to study as well. Looking at twins charts. Yeah. I hope this answered the questions. Yeah. So got another question. Okay. Can I see that? Okay, the future message would be amazing. Okay, so a future message. Oh, that's a bit difficult. Do you have any do you have the time and place of birth, perhaps? Otherwise, I can just give you a quick, like, okay, so you are an early Aquarius, 27th of January, so Saturn has already passed your sun. So probably I would say you are, if you had a bit of a rough year last year with a lot of challenges, especially in terms of personal responsibility, you may have a bit of an easier time. yeah, this year, from this year on, but this will depend on what other planets there are in the chart. Okay, let me have a quick look. I have to apologize again for my my system is sometimes really slow, but see how it works today. I think it should be fine because I'm not setting up a new chart. So just put in your day. Okay, so can I ask, were you born in England or somewhere else? 27, 63. All right. Oh, you got a natal Saturn in Aquarius, 6 a.m. Okay, let's see. So if you were born in England, then I can tell you something about something more precise. Okay, so you have a moon. Okay. So okay, that's roughly then, right? Just double check here. Got the right. Yeah, 27. Okay, so you were born like about 2 days, roughly 2 days, maybe 1.5, after a new moon in Aquarius, and you also have a Saturn in Aquarius. So you've just had your Saturn return. So Saturn is now in the sign of Aquarius, and it's just past your natal Saturn. I would suspect you've had a year with a lot of maybe some hardship, a lot of personal responsibility, where you really felt like you have to work hard, harder than usual for to make the changes happen that you want to see in your life, right? But I see a lot of positivity here as well. I see a lot of positivity as your moon is also in Aquarius. That also helps you to detach emotionally. It will take a bit of time for Saturn to reach your natal moon. So I think like if you have a bit of a gap there, maybe like couple months up to a year until Saturn maybe hits your moon, but still, as long as Saturn is in your sign, you probably feel like some weight, or just some things are feeling heavier or just more serious for you, or just more responsible. But the good news is also that Saturn just helps you get a backbone. You get a better backbone, because if you've been through challenges, that really shows you what you're capable of. And you can always trust that your soul will never choose lessons for you that are harder than you can take, that are more than you can manage. And I think this is also a constellation of great accomplishment, about really knowing where your goals and your priorities are. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think this is maybe is still another year and a half, roughly, with increased responsibility and maybe things feeling heavier or more serious. Let's see what else is. So, but you also, another good news is, another very good news is, you're going to have your Jupiter return as well, and this is happening in literally on the Bournemouth weekend. Yeah, a weekend, first weekend of March. So it's happening right now, technically. So on the Jupiter return is an indicator of a new cycle, where you feel like we feel more mature, where you feel like, okay, you've been through a cycle of you've accumulated new wisdom. Now you can put that new wisdom to good use. It's actually something that you could celebrate. You could celebrate your Jupiter return maybe this weekend or the next. So this is a time where you can feel very positive, about where you're going, about just also trusting. It's a Jupiter in Pisces. We have Jupiter in Pisces at the moment, which is all about going with the flow, completely trusting your path, trusting that you are being led towards, exactly where you need to be going. So I think this is a very trusting constellation, and maybe you feel like you're completing a cycle there, and you're starting out on a new exciting journey, and you're completely led by your intuition. So there's some really positive stuff. There's also a lovely link I can see with your natal Neptune. So you have this natal connection already. So that is highly, highly intuitive, and there is so much hope. It's also a super spiritual constellation, as there's a thirst for knowledge and just wanting to understand how everything is connected, and really actually understanding that everything and everyone is connected. So whatever, you know, help or hope, whatever you put out there, it will always reach people. It will always reach people. So it's never lost, and you can always connect with anyone at any time, you know. Okay, so that's hopefully a good message for at least the next year. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mick. I've got, yes. Let's have a look. Got a question here. Okay, so Cheryl asks, what is your North Node? I have heard about it, but unsure what it is. Okay. Okay, so you're asking about the nodes. So the nodes are a bit like a cosmic highlight. I don't work a lot with the nodes, but when they are in a dominant position, I do look at the nodes, of course. I've actually started to pay more attention to the nodes recently, because I've also had some personal experience with that. So the nodes are a bit like a cosmic highlight. The nodes axis, so there's a north node and there's always a south node, so it's always an axis. It's never just one node. And that is that's to do with the sun and moon's orbit. I don't want to go into the astronomical details, how that's being calculated or everything, but the nodes, they move very slowly. They move backwards through the zodiac, and they stay about in one sign for about 1.5 years. We've just recently, last month, we've had a change. The north node was shifted from Gemini into Taurus. So until the summer of next year, we will have the north node in the sign of Taurus, and the north node is kind of it's like something like, if you look like in the mundane sense, it's something that is like cosmically highlighted. I have this one example where some of you may have heard about this big story in the news about the tennis player, #1 tennis player, Novak Djokovic. And his story basically went, like, it was around the world, like was all over the news. When he wanted to go to Australia, they wouldn't let him in, and a big struggle there. And he has his son, like the 1st or 2nd degree of Gemini. And when this happened, the Nord was transiting, exactly, just crossing the sun. So that kind of put him in the spotlight, you know, if that makes sense. So it was like almost like the cosmic spotlight was on him. So all around the world, basically, all the attention was suddenly like focused on him. So in a personal chart, in your natal chart, obviously there's also a nodes axis, and the south node tells us where we come from, like more in a karmic spiritual sense. There is also an axis in the chart that tells us where we come from, like how we experience our childhood, and then where we're going in life, like our life direction and our career goals and everything. But the nodes axis is more, I interpret it more in the karmic spiritual sense. It's like an overall, like in the karmic goal. So where your north node is, the sign and the house, it's like an overall goal. It's like where you could put your own personal spotlight, where you feel where there's some major lessons, some things that need to be learned and need to be developed, you know. Whereas on the south node, it's more about the abilities that we seem to be quite familiar with, and the patterns that we tend to fall back on. For example, I think if you have the North Node in the second house, that is a house of money, finance, personal possessions. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. Thank you so much. So if you have your node in, like, for example, in the second house, that means that a lot of your like deeper spiritual lessons are around the area of your self-worth, your personal possessions, your values, your value system. Yeah, so maybe you have a lot of experiences and situations where you learn about your personal values, or how you deal with that, how you deal with how you feel about your possessions, also about attachments. And we have the second connected with the eighth house. That's a Taurus Scorpio axis. So it's so wherever the North Node is, I think it just puts something in the spotlight that you can pay specific attention to, and it's some sort of like I've got some colleagues and they talk about it in the sense of destiny a lot. Yeah, so I think you can also see it in that way, and see like, is this also somewhere where you're going? Is somewhere where you're going, what you're moving towards? So you can expect a lot of deeper experiences and lessons to be around that topic. Sign and house obviously is important, because many people that were born the same year, they will all have the node in the same sign, but they will not have it in the same house. So that then always makes a difference. Like everything in astrology is so important to have the individual data, because actually the exact birth time and place, a date, obviously, that's as individual as a fingerprint. So many people may not know that. They just think, oh yeah, star sign, my sign's Cancer, and that's where it ends. No, actually, if you look at the individual chart and you have the exact birth data, then that is as individual as a fingerprint. So I think probably me, being the math freak and an analytical freak that I am, I found just the right tool to satisfy that streak in me. And yeah, so yeah, okay, some more questions. Thanks, Sarah. You've got over 10 pages full. Okay, so it's a lot of show. 10 pages full of questions, that means a lot of shows coming up. How we're doing with the connection? It's not too bad, right? So the audio is still okay? Yeah. Still fine. Okay, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, because okay. See, I can give you quicker snapshots. Let's see. Who else? Who else has a question, please? We have a Sedgy. Okay, Donna. Hello, Donna. Okay. May I have a reading? Okay, Donna, can you please be a bit more precise? Can you just say, do you have any particular question, like anything in your life that you would like to know about? Any personal situation? Let me look at your charts. Because otherwise that will lead us astray. Very happy to look at your chart, but if you just have something in particular, and maybe if you know your time, that'd be very helpful. So let me put in the date. Yes, so I've got the date. Okay. Fire. Yeah, so it would help if you could give me a precise question, and then I have to look into that. It's not responded yet. Okay, well, still put up the chart. I'll give another, yeah. Yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, well, there's a lot of fire here in Virgo, a bit of Aquarius. Yeah, so this is an adventure-loving personality, but someone who still carries a bit of caution in his backpack. Never leave a healthy dose of caution at home, but it's a very adventurous side here, a very excitable nature. I like that. Hasn't responded yet. Oh, sorry. So maybe we can look at that at a later time. Do we have someone else with a question? Yep. Let's see. Next year, January 1000. Okay. Let me see. Belgium. Okay. Oh, maybe I should have told people that I need to know the place, not just the country. Yeah, of course. But then also, of course, then I won't be able to give as, specific. I try to be as specific as I can, but obviously that is then limited if you don't get the precise time. Yeah, yeah, yes. Okay, so I just put that in. Just see. Something is wrong with this. See only half the message. Now I can see it. Okay, so morning. So let's have a look. 22nd. So, okay. Okay, let's just have a quick. Right. So what does she want to know? It's just next year ahead. Okay, so at the moment, let's see, there's some Venus going on here. Okay, so that is very interesting because this is just exactly in between signs. So without a birth time, we would not know if this is actually a sun in Sagittarius or a sun in Capricorn. But with the time, we can see, yeah, but because we have the time, we see that the sun has already moved in the sign of Capricorn. So Martina, just in case if you weren't sure, because in many star sign columns you see when the next sign starts, and so the dates can sometimes change. So if you have been unsure so far, you have a sign in Capricorn. Yeah, you are a Capricorn at heart, but there is some lightness there. I see some lightness there. So the planets that govern your emotions and how you express affections, they are in lighter energies. Because Capricorn is about hard work. Sometimes is quite a serious sign. It's about not taking life the easy way, always trying to follow a goal, always being focused on something, wanting to prove your worth and trying to achieve. Yeah, so that's in your nature. That's the dominant thing in your nature. Let me see if I can say, okay, so you've got Jupiter sextile here. So you've just had Jupiter here. So that is potentially a Sagittarius rising, or maybe it is a Capricorn, because I can't. Let me see if I can just quickly put up this city here. So yeah, this is all to do with having exact birth places, because a place can make a huge difference. So I'm just trying to put in a place and see if I get the rising right, and that will help things a lot. Just give it 2 seconds. It's a bit slow. So here we go. Belgium. Okay. Yeah, it should be Sagittarius. Yeah, it looks like Sagittarius. Exactly. Okay. Right. So this is a very interesting combination. Sagittarius and Capricorn, two of the main influences here. And you're gonna have a strong Jupiter. Jupiter will be because it governs your rising sign, Martin. Jupiter is one of the most important planets in your chart, along with Saturn, and you do have a really good natal Saturn. You have your natal Saturn trine your Sun, so you probably feel good about the fact that you think that it's good to strive for stability in life. You know, that is something that is important to you. But Sagittarius, which is your general approach to life, it's also like you're the what you show to people, like how people meet you the first time, like the first impression, and how you intuitively react. This is also about seeking fun, seeking enjoyment, seeking adventure. So there is a combination of the two. I think if in your chart there's everything in it, as all the elements. You've got a moon in the sign of Gemini, which is an air sign. Again, yet another energy. So you're going to have a Jupiter square to your moon. Actually, that is happening right now. Over the coming week or two, it will be exact. So maybe you will feel a bit, it's the moon in 6th house, maybe. I would think you may feel feeling a bit restless in work at the moment, or maybe this is about dealing with specific people at work, or maybe there's just some changes. This could be because Jupiter is also crossing your node here. This could be a bit of maybe a hectic time, but also I would think you feel quite expectant right now. There's something that you're expecting, and it could make you feel a bit nervous, but also it should feel quite exciting, and full of hopeful. I would say hopeful expectation. So hopefully something positive. Maybe there's a change in your daily life, or something about potentially something about a work situation, or something about your daily life or your daily routine that is changing, or that is a new challenge, and that feels both exciting and also maybe oh my God, will I be able to manage that? Yeah, so this is what's going on right now. Also, Jupiter will touch upon a couple other planets here. So I do believe for this year, it will probably be the most important influence. Saturn is already through the trine. Let's see. Now I think Jupiter is going to be the most important, and Jupiter is also going to square your Sun. That will be around May. Yeah, early May, mid-May, first half of May, definitely. There's another strong Jupiter activation. So there'll probably be some challenges. Maybe start something new, and it's like now you got to get going. It's about learning something new, and as I said, what you say, hectic time. Yes, exactly. So it feels like a hectic time, but it's a positive influence. Yeah, it's 100% a positive influence. So maybe this feels a bit grand because there's something really big or important for you that is currently happening, but it's teaching you so much about. This is, I can see you're learning so much about your own needs as well. Yeah, you're learning so much about what you really need, what you really value, and also what most benefits you in your everyday life. So I think this is an incredibly exciting time. So it's I don't think you ever wake up one morning and there was nothing exciting going on, or just tons of things going on. It looks like very busy. It looks like a very busy aspect, but a very good one where you are very eager to make progress, very eager to learn and adapt. Because these are both mutable energies, a lot of mutable energies. So it's about adaptations, it's about changes, it's about learning new things, and this can help you to proceed on a, just having a different understanding about what you really need and what truly benefits you. Yeah, that's what I can see. So that's Jupiter for you. That's your chart ruler, so it will always be an important planet. Got a good natal Jupiter there. Nice Mars trine. Okay, Saturn opposition. So maybe as one of the bigger lessons as well is also just trusting your own beliefs. And I see one of your major life challenges as well is probably like maybe you grew up with where your family, your parents, they planted a bit of, a couple of doubts in you. That's what it looks like. And it feels like you feel like, no, I want to feel positive about life. I want to feel positive about myself. I want to trust and believe in myself. So there's this internal struggle. So this is like a lifelong lessons to just develop more and more trust and faith in yourself and in your abilities and what you can manage. Yeah. Very good. Awesome. Thank you, Martine. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Deb. Hello. I'm forever. Yeah. Okay, let's just say, okay, I'm forever moving house. Oh, never able to settle in one place. Scorpio, could this be connected with my sign? No, not really. I don't think no, Scorpio is probably one of the least signs I would mention when it comes to constant changes, because Scorpio is one of the fixed signs. So Scorpio normally is about being attached, about holding on to things, sometimes more than is good for them, on holding on to things that are actually not even beneficial anymore, but just still you feel some sort of attachment, and it feels hard to let go. So I would probably have to have a look at your individual constellations. She may have a strong Uranus, and that may be or any similar. There may be something that constantly motivates her, where she feels where she gets this restless energy from. Can you give me these details, or is it possible? Okay, no. Okay, hang on. I'm just going to put it in here. Okay, 1 second. Now it's open. Okay, so 5th was it? Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I can work with that. Just date helps. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me just change it. Okay, I can already see something that looks like may point to what she was talking about the moving, because that's definitely an energy that is not related just to Scorpio. Scorpio is more about it's really making a decision, or just sticking with things, really sticking. The Scorpio is the sticky glue. And so if you've got a lot of Scorpio, sometimes it can be, of course, it can be immensely valuable. If you really know, if you've made your choice and you know exactly what you want, that is what Scorpio does best. This is what I want, not taking anything else, no compromise. That's what I love about the Scorpio energy. I have a sun in the house of Scorpio myself, so I know a little bit about that and how that feels like to be. Sometimes it's actually it's more this stuck energy. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so got strong Mars. Okay, so am I allowed to say signs or anything, or better not mention? Or better not mention any? No, I'm not mentioning any dates or anything. It's just okay. So we have a moon in Gemini. So the moon in Gemini, just like Marti, just like the lady we had before, the moon in Gemini has this is a mutable sign. And Gemini is always curious about the next thing, curious about, you know, once the book is finished, just move on to the next. There's more. There's always more. So Gemini is about versatility, constantly being curious about something. So maybe that will have something to do with it. I also spot a Venus here in Sag. There's also a desire. These are both signs that have a desire for the new and the unknown and wanting to learn something. Let's have a look at your sun. Okay, you've got Sun, Neptune in the second house. Okay, so I think it looks like it is very important to you to find your your own soil. I'm just into it. I'm getting this word, like the soil that where you can really grow and prosper, where you almost feel like you feel divinely guided to this place. And what Neptune does, it's also a mutable energy. And people with Sun Neptune, they are, well, obviously this is the psychic constellation. Sun Neptune's very insightful. Obviously, Scorpio is about looking behind the scenes, digging deep, uncovering secrets. But the second house, in the second house here, and that is also very much about the material side of life and feeling settled somewhere. Right, so I think this is something that is actually a big factor in your life, finding the place where you really feel you belong as well. This is the house of Taurus, and Taurus has a strong desire to feel safe and secure. So a Neptune is sometimes it's an uncertainty. So I almost feel like there is it's almost like you've got some inkling there that drives you towards finding a different area, because something maybe does not seem right about this one, and you feel like, I'm not so sure about this. I think I have to move on. I think this is still not quite right. It almost feels like that a little bit. I don't know if that rings true. Your rising sign is Libra, which is air energy. Like a Gemini, also very social. It's not particularly about constant changes or something. Let me see, what is Uranus? Okay, Uranus in 11th, Saturn the 4th. Actually, it looks like here that you want to find that stability, and maybe it's like almost this endless, it's almost like this search for, you know, just finding the right place, and there's something that is maybe still doesn't feel right, and then that's why you have to move on, because there's strong hints here that being in the right place and having stability, especially in your home life and your like you're finding your castle or with the place where you want to build it. You've got very high demands and expectations. It almost looks like it's very hard to find something that is up to your standards. It's actually what it looks like. Right now, okay, Saturn is still, it's in your 4th house. Maybe you're even contemplating this on a much deeper level now. It looks like it. Or maybe it could be, because Saturn rules your 4th house, it could even be that you are currently maybe you are even on the right track, and you found something which is which feels like of substantial value, just up to your standards, what you're looking for, provides you with enough security and stability and a sense of belonging, something permanent, something yeah, it actually it looks, it's funny enough because it actually looks like the opposite of the opposite of the erratic energy. You know, if someone says, I'm constantly moving house, you know, I think the first thing you maybe expect is like, oh, there must be a lot of erratic energy here. You know, someone is just not I don't know, just a different type of energy than what I see here. This is actually, I see you being very, very serious and very focused and having very, very high, you know, your criteria. You know, we're looking at Pluto and Saturn. So that is so much about your criteria are just such a high standard of what you're looking for, so that it feels right, that it feels it can really stand the test of time, Saturn. And Pluto is beyond death anyway, so so like Saturn is until death, and Pluto is even beyond. Yeah, it almost feels like you're, yeah, and you do have this inkling, you're really you're being intuitively guided to the right place. And then maybe sometimes that means you're in a place and you have had your experience there, but then, you know, I'm finished here. I'm finished here, and I have to move on. It is still not quite right enough. It's a quite dominant constellation there. It's very interesting. It's certainly, this is a very big, a very important theme for you. So I think this is an interesting time with Saturn in the 4th house. Yeah, you may be. You may have found something, or may find something that is then exactly what you're looking for, and that will give you the opportunity to stay, just to build something more permanent. I'm a confusing person. Yeah. Sun Neptune people, they are a bit like that. It takes just intuition to understand them, because of their way of expressing, and because they are constantly, you know, Sun Neptune people, as I said, it is the psychic constellation, so it's almost like you're constantly connected to these higher sources and these channels. You just constantly milk them, you know, milk this information, and it's this constant non-stop, like 24/7 connection to the higher sources almost. So and that is a lot to take in. Some people, they can't even take in, you know, if they just talk to one person, they can't even do just one thing at a time. They're already overwhelmed, you know, by the information. So this is like a flood of insights, and probably very intuitive and very clear, very strong images that you're seeing. Yeah, you also have Mercury in the 2nd house, so I think it's very, what you see, very tangible. Yeah, it's what you see in your mind. You see images in your mind, and they are very, very tangible. They present themselves to you in a very very clear way. I need to buy a van to live in. See, okay, yeah, maybe that is the Mars on the midheaven there. So constantly have to keep moving, and feel like you're always in action. Maybe that's the way to go. Just see it as something very, very positive, and just be glad that if you don't feel comfortable, because that's what the 2nd house also is about, feeling comfortable, feeling in the right place. If something tells you I'm not comfortable here, is just be grateful that you've got great intuition, and it guides you and maybe moves you on to a better place, or the next place that is just right for you, in order for you to experience your next experience. Yeah, thank you so much. Do you have time for one more, or are we through? Okay. Yeah, okay. So just getting some technical stuff right here. Yeah, so as you can see from these little readings, it's every chart is just super individual, and even if you have some like similar factors, like now we had two people with Venus and the moon in the same signs, there's always different, there's always a different background, and there's always different context. So it's always different connections, and the setup is always different. So charts basically always shows you the same ingredients, but in a different mixture. So if you were a baker, you would always use the same ingredients, but you would use different quantities, and you would mix them in different styles, and then you just get a different taste, a different flavor. Yeah, maybe this analogy helps a little bit understand. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yes. So we have announcement for tonight. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. UK time. It's Chatting with Spirit with Deb Clark, and that's an evening with Deb offering mediumship readings. That is on tonight. And for tomorrow we have Natalia PH, The Love-Tarian Way, and she has a guest speaker as well, Dr. Merlin Pixton, and that is Wednesday, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. UK time. That looks exciting. And at 8 we have Live with a Spirit, and you can join SPTV for free readings with different readers. That's tomorrow night. Okay, Anita, the animal communicator, will be joining tomorrow night for that show, 8 p.m. That sounds really interesting. Communicating with animals, because animals, obviously, they have natal charts as well. Animals have birth charts as well, and they have personalities, of course. You know, they're living beings. Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, so here we have another one, Christine Davis. Christine Davis. Okay, she just puts her birthday. So, Christine, do you have any particular question I could help you with? Any particular life situation where you feel like there's a bit of guidance needed? Let me put up your chart. I'll put in your data. That will always take. I'll just use the shortcut here, so that'll be easier, a bit quicker. Put your data in. Actually, it works better than expected. Let's see if she give me a particular question. 15 July 16th. Okay, so we have a sun in Cancer here, and we have a moon in Sagittarius, and then most likely we have a Leo rising. Okay, let's see. So there's another Jupiter return, basically this very moment. Wow. That's interesting. So many people, they are just about to start their new lap. You know, it's just when you have a planet returns, it just means it starts a new lap, almost like on a racetrack. When you complete a lap and you just start the next one, and you're just gathering that fresh energy, and you start a new round and you move forward again, and you're full of excitement and motivation, and you've got your new goals and fresh strength. So this almost looks like it's also about something about setting out with a fresh strength here. Okay, now she writes some spiritual journey. Yeah, so I think this really pertains to your spiritual journey. So Christine, if you're feeling that right now, something is like you're craving more spiritual input, you're craving maybe that sort of these moments where you feel like, oh, now I understand, now I understand, now I understand, now I understand so much more about myself, and I understand so much more about what I truly need, what I truly desire. Jupiter is in the sign of Pisces here, and Pisces can sometimes it's quite tough to get to the bottom of Pisces because it's technically bottomless. You know, it's like the ocean. There's no bottom. There's it goes very, very deep, and it can be quite feel quite confusing. So if you have Jupiter in Pisces, then naturally you will have, and that Jupiter is important because it rules your natal moon. Yeah, your moon is in the sign of Sagittarius, and it's also a super spiritual sign, and it craves wisdom and it craves knowledge. So I think you are someone from a young age would have had a thirst for knowledge and wisdom and seeking answers and wanting to go on adventures, wanting to go on a journey, even if that is just a journey like in your mind or something you're reading about or films you watch. There is a desire to be on a journey and like an endless journey, and always understand more. Because if I see these signs in combination with spiritual planets, especially the moon, which is our subconscious, and it is our needs and desires, like what our soul food really is, right? And then Jupiter in the other sign that it rules. Jupiter is the classical ruler of Pisces also, so it's very strong in its own sign. So there is a craving for spiritual knowledge. There's a craving to always go further, because Jupiter Sagittarius is about never being enough or getting enough. So again, there is this sense of like something bottomless there. It's just, yeah, you learn something, but it would just only make you more hungry and thirsty, yeah, to go further and to learn more. So probably you're feeling that very strongly right now. You feel like, right, I'm going on a new trip right now, and I've already learned a lot, but now I have my sight set on something else. So maybe you are I love doing research, exactly. So that sort of thing. So maybe right now you are exactly at a point where you have just discovered something new, or you are about to discover something new. Yeah, under this Jupiter return would not be unusual at all. And you feel like, oh, this is so incredibly exciting. This is so amazing and ultimately fulfilling, because the moon tells us what we need for our fulfillment. And the moon in Sagittarius craves knowledge and wisdom and constant growth. So you will never stop. Whatever you can do right now, Christine, you will want to make sure that you can grow and that you feel you are progressing on your journey. So whatever topic is be, you have a natal Jupiter most likely in the 8th house. So that's the occult. That is uncovering secrets. Yeah, so maybe like some ancient science or wisdom, potentially, yeah, may be very interesting to you right now, or any spiritual topic, or anything about history even, could probably be related to history as well, culture, anything where you feel like I'm learning more about the world, and at the same time, then I'm learning more about myself and how I connect with this vast ocean of knowledge. Yeah, I think that Jupiter in Pisces time this year That is up until May, and then again, the last 2 months of the year will be a really good time for you to move on, to make progress on in your personal journey, because you have a nice water energy natally as well. I think you will respond well to that. And Jupiter will also trigger your moon in a square, so it almost feels like very soon, probably come end of March, April, you probably feel like, oh, I can't wait to start this. Maybe you are going to start something creative, or maybe you're starting a new course where you learn something new, potentially even something with where you're on a stage or presenting something. You can see a bit of energy here that points to that. So maybe it's even something that puts you in the spotlight, but definitely something about learning, like really deep learning, really getting your teeth into something that feels like that book that you can't put down. It's just keeps your attention alive. It just it's too compelling to put down. You know, if it's this Jupiter in the 8th, especially, it's about knowledge that is so compelling, you just can't stop taking it in. So I can see this is a very important year for you, probably to feel, and also feel very uplifted. So Jupiter will trine your sun as well. That will be March, yeah, probably late March. And you probably feel very uplifted. Maybe you already feel like you're already making progress, or you found exactly the right thing that you want to learn more about. Or maybe you're signing up for a course, or maybe you're just doing your own research. So whatever it is, I think it's an exciting time, and you're just so eager to make progress and learn more. Yeah, so I think it's super interesting. Yeah, love that. Oh, I love that. Research, do it deeply. Right. Okay. So thank you all so much, and I look forward to seeing you all in future shows. I wish you all a lovely rest of the week, and I say bye-bye, and I see you soon.
Mirjam?
Yeah? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I couldn't hear you for a second, so it got me. Okay, so I'm back. Yeah, so if you want some deeper insights in a private session, I offer private sessions where you can go deep into your individual questions, and you can find me on my own website. You can also send me an email or a direct text message, or contact me on WhatsApp, or even on the phone, or even on Instagram. You will find all the details on the screen. So there's many ways to contact me. And yeah, I hope to see some of you soon. And I'll be happy to give you some guidance and hopefully help you make sense, and help you with your questions so you can progress in your life. Thank you so much. Yeah. So again, goodbye to all of you. This was my first show. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed too. And I look forward to see you on many shows to come. And I hope it's going to be exciting. I'm going to have some exciting content prepared for that. Okay. I love you all. And I wish you all very well, and have a great week. Bye-bye.